Alright, this tutorial should be fairly fast. It's just about using filters to abstract your face. You'll start off by opening up your realistic ping image of yourself, and then using various filters will change you up so you don't look realistic anymore. That'll be on its own slide, so you'll have 3 simple ones together, and then on the next slide of your homework power slides, it will be 2 more types of abstractions: liquify and an extraction, which is a little more difficult, and that'll be its own demonstration. But for the first 3, super fast. You'll probably be done in 15 minutes. Here's some student samples using extractions. They didn't really experiment too much with color, but by all means you can, which I want you to actually. Here's mosaic. We do kind of a fun collage. We had Jermaine morph himself with a snail, which was pretty fun, and then this was liquefying his body, so it's like melting. Same thing with the face here. Again, you can make yourself as beautiful as you want, as you can see right here. And again, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, and she altered each cutout. So just because I give you simple samples doesn't mean you have to stay there. You can always expand or elaborate on your project. Alright, so here's my original ping. I'm going to click my picture. I already unlocked it, so you don't see the lock anymore. Please do that. And then in the picture there'll be an ellipse, ellipse. In the dialog box, after you click it, there'll be 2 boxes that overlap each other. I want you to make a total of 4 copies, so 1 more, because you need 4 right away, and they're simple. First picture I'm going to select, and then we're going to move over to our toolbar. The circle with the dots is your filters. Are your filters. Just play around with whatever you want. So, there you go. I could be like, I'm lazy today, that's all I want to do for this one. That's fine. Go to save, and I would name it. So this one's called Fringe, so I would call it, you know, my name, Fringe. Download, you know this drill. Click the download, save as, and then put it in the folder that you want. Okay? I'm not going to save it. So that's one of them, but I can also go back and add more filters to it, so I can do as much or as little as I want with it. I like it when students do more than they want, or than they have to, I mean, but it's totally up to you. Kind of fun. So there's, you can combine. I'm going to go to another one and try different things. So here's mosaic. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. So again, if you're like, oh, I'm doing stuff and it's not showing up, you don't have the right layer selected over here. So now I have the right one I want. And just play around. Okay. So let's say you're like, oh, I love that. You could save it. Or you can go back to, and on your toolbar, there's a sun. That lets you change colors. So I would go to hue and change it up, whatever you want. Okay. And then I'm going to show you one more thing you could do. So I have the top one selected, and I also have the second one selected. So what I could do is combine 2 together. By clicking the first image, I could play around with transparency so that I could probably see both. Not the best example, but you can play around with transparencies and so forth. Alright, so those are a few. Again, play around with tons of the filters. There's so many more. I'll click another one. Again, if you have stacked layers, you want to deselect them if you want to see what you're actually working on. I really like the posterized one. And then I would change the color, partial to blue. Okay. Alright, so those are easy ones. The last one I want to demonstrate in this tutorial is the liquify. Liquify is the tool over here that has waves, And there's lots of them up here. So I like to just start with the arrow inside each other. You're not going to be the most beautiful version of yourself, but it's just supposed to be fun. So you play around with each of your filters. Some of them are not going to do much, so you got to play around with size and the strength, density, whatever. Look like a starfish, things like that. Okay. Then you can go back and you can do filters with it as well. I don't care. Just have fun. And then you would save that. So there's your first 4. Did that in 5 minutes. That's it for this tutorial. I'm going to save the extraction for its own, so a little more in depth. So these will be easy and fun.